What's up, handsome people? Today I'm gonna show you how you can use AI to clone your best customers and clients. And I use the term best very deliberately because if you have been in business for more than a day, then you know that you have some clients and customers, and I'll be using the terms like interchangeably in this video, where you just enjoy working with them, they spend a lot of money with you, they refer their friends, family, loved ones, secret boyfriends or girlfriends to you, and they're just like a joy to work with. Personally, I discovered the same when I was like still in fitness, where I found out that a lot of my best customers, they were guys who were really into video games, okay, and RPGs. So what I started doing in my marketing, and more specifically my email marketing, was I started like finding ways to talk about like those games and tie them back to my services. I did this like very creatively. And I mean, I was right because what I found out is that I got like a way more leads, I got way more sales, I got like a way more people interested in my services, again, who were, you guessed it, very into video games and RPGs themselves. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna try to show you how you can do something similar for you and your business. Now, the first case study that I'm gonna show you, I'm kind of cheating here because what happened is that I did this for my main client a few months ago, okay? But for the life of me, I cannot find the exact conversation window I had with AI. So I just created I went through the motions again. I didn't get 100% the same result, although I used both O3 Mini and Claude picked up on an important insight that I picked up back then. So yeah, I'm just gonna explain it to you, and yeah, you can use it. So for this to work was that what I wanted to do is essentially take a look at our data from our Shopify store, because it's like an e-commerce brand where we're selling a radiation protection product. Okay, so what I did is I went to the AI, and I wrote like a pretty good prompt focusing a lot on the 80-20 principle, asking it to go through the data and look at some insights, whatever interesting things we could do. So today, while I was preparing for the video, I gave it like a 50 customers. I don't remember back then if I gave it like a 100, 500, but again, you can add as many customers as you want. To give you a little bit more context, our average order value for this product is around $280, and our top 50 customers that I had here, they had spent at least 10 times that. So they have spent $2,800, in some cases up to $8,000. So they're big spenders, and of course, as a business, we want to have more of them. So what I did is, again, I gave it here the data, and the interesting insight that it picked back then was this one, that many of those people are especially in the real estate space. And this was very interesting to me. So I started digging a little bit deeper, and I asked AI, I think I asked Perplexity back then, okay, why are people in the real estate world buying this solution? And it gave me some very interesting stats, such as, for example, that if someone who is interested in investing in a real estate property, they find out that there are, let's say, 5G towers near it, yeah, maybe they're not gonna buy, or the value of the property might go a little bit low. So I was like, okay, this makes sense. So maybe they're buying our products as gifts to potential customers, or as gifts to people who actually buy the real estate property, and they give them to them as a peace of mind. So what I did, very simply, is, yeah, I wrote an email. I'm not gonna show it to you here. That, essentially, it was along the lines of, why are people in the real estate space investing in our solutions? And I explained, I shared the stats. And to our surprise, to my surprise, first of all, even though this was a very narrow focused email, if you will, it wasn't talking about everyone, it was talking about specifically people in real estate, it generated a lot of sales compared to most of the previous emails. And it was actually a pretty interesting insight for us. So what we could have done back then was also take the email and try to adjust it into a Facebook ad, because we spent a lot of money daily on Facebook ads too for this brand, and see what's going to happen. Again, we didn't move forward with this because the objection was, we need something that's gonna grab it's gonna like appeal to like a broader audience, but it was like a pretty cool if you think about it, and I'm really curious to see what's gonna happen. It's definitely an idea that okay, you might not use on the top of your funnel, but let's say for the middle and the bottom, yeah, this would be like a very cool, and yeah, I mean, I would personally be very interested to see what's gonna happen. So the first thing you can do is actually again take your data if you have like a lot of data such as emails, location, names, whatever, put them all in an AI and see if it spots like any interesting patterns. Another like a great insight you might gain is that if you're running again, if you're running for example like a Facebook ads, is that maybe like 80% of your people, like of your best customers, they are in one specific location. Maybe they're just like in Florida or New York. But if you're like targeting the entirety of the US, then if like 80% of them, like your best customers are like in just like in Florida, it doesn't make sense for you to target the entire of the US. So all you have to do is like redirect all your ad spend like just in Florida and see what's gonna happen. Again, those are like things that you have to test, but I believe that there are like very cool ways that you can actually make your advertising dollars, if you're like advertising, give you way more money. Now, let's go to another like a case study here. And again, this is like from the same brand. And we also have like a big list of questions that people ask, that people answer when they buy from us. And they're like we have like in this particular example, I think I was going through 2,000 answers, but I mean, the AI could only like find out, like it could only like read essentially like 500 at a time. So yeah, I mean, what I did is like I split them up here. So I see, as you can see, it's like 500 up to 1,000. So here's like you can read the prompt. It's like very short. Please go through them and let me know if you spot any 80/20 that we can use in our advertising. I'm especially interested in anything that gives us insights into why someone bought. This could be a problem they want to deal with, a fear they have, a desire, or anything. If you do a great job, I'll tip you $100,000. And you might laugh at this, but there have been like some type of studies, like not like a double-blind placebo studies, but that so that if you actually tell the AI that at the end I'm gonna tip you $1 million or $100,000, it kind of gives you like a better outcome most of the times. So it's always worth a shot. So let's go back to the prompt here, and as you can see, it actually analyzed this, and it gave us like some trends. So it explained like a good chunk of the people are buying these like for their family, for health concerns, cancer concerns, which is like also very important, EMF, device usage patterns, passive discovery, etc., etc. And but I didn't stop there, because another thing you want to do is like when you understand the trends is you're gonna be like, okay, what else can I do now that I understand the trends? And one of the best things you can do is try and take the language that people used and try to adjust it to your marketing. So what we did here is I said, thank you. Now go through its trend and give me 3 direct quotes from the file that talk about its trend. We do this because we want to discover the language people use when talking about this issue. It's very important that you do not hallucinate and you do not give me something that you came up with. We want answers only talking directly from the file I gave you. So what it did here now, as you can see, is it went ahead and went through like its trend, and yeah, those are like directly quotes from people, and there can be like a very hard-hitting quotes. So for example here, like a family protection. Okay, my son and his wife are having a baby. I wanted their phones to be protected, so the phones didn't hurt the baby with phone radiation. That's like a very important. And yeah, a lot of people like are worried about like a radiation when like maybe they are pregnant, or maybe like some of their loved ones is pregnant. And you can always like use this in your advertising and marketing. There are like some health concerns, some cancer concerns, as you can see. Device usage patterns, which is like very interesting. Like a kid wants iPods, but I'm concerned about EMFs near his brain, etc., etc. So now here's what you can do here to actually like try and use those like insights to clone your best customers. You can go ahead and see like based on whatever like people said, see like how much money they spend with you. Okay, so if there were, if someone said something that's like a very hard hitting, but you see that they only spend, let's say, $100 for you, in our case, they wouldn't be like a big spender, okay? But if someone says, for example, that The reason they bought is because their grandson is on his devices constantly and has tingling in his head and hands. Hopefully this can help. And they spent with us like a $2,000 when our AOV is like a 250. Then guess what? Chances are there are gonna be more people like them who have the same concerns. So what we could use here, let's see. Let's say that we can use. I really like what you said in device usage. Can you please write me some first lines that I will use on Facebook ads? Those first lines should grab the attention of everyone who is worried about device usage. Write me up to 5 of those lines. Please make sure you use direct quotes as much as possible. If you do a great job, I will tip you $1 million this time. Okay, let's see. This is cool. Of course, yeah, take the credits. There you go. So here are the 5 attention first lines based on. If your child constantly on the devices, one grandmother wrote us, my grandson is on his devices constantly and has tingling his head and hands. Are you or someone you love on your cell phone a lot? One customer told us, my husband is 84, showing some issues that concern. I'm fully rested and then I pick up my phone and within 5 minutes I feel incredibly tired and have a headache. Sound familiar? My watch hurts my wrist, blah, 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 blah. As you can see now, so those are first lines that it got from our own market research. So those are things that our customers have said in the past, and we can actually use them in our Facebook ads. How you can use them for Facebook ads? If you have ever tested Facebook ads a lot, you know that especially in text ads, the first line is gonna be again, the 80-20. It's gonna make the entire difference. Okay, most people might not read the rest of the copy that you have on your Facebook ads, but they're really gonna pay attention to your first line. So if you make sure that the first line is really attention grabbing and it's really talking about a problem that people have, yeah, you really increase your chances of people paying attention to what you have to say. So with this data here and what we actually wrote and asked a Claude to come up with, we have 5 variations of first lines that we can go today and test them on Facebook ads. And the rest of the copy of the ad can be the same depending on how you structure your ad. But yeah, this is a pretty cool way that is gonna signal to people interested about your thing, about the problem you solve, that hey, I mean, we actually helped clients that have the same exact worry as you. And this is gonna be very powerful, and you can use it in your marketing and in your advertising. And again, I said here a Facebook ads. Of course, you can use those things in emails. Maybe you can say, recently we were going through some of our what made you buy answers to our survey, and we found some pretty interesting we got some pretty interesting insights that we wanted to share with you. And then you can just share whatever people said without of course mentioning their names. Okay, there are some privacy concerns there, but this is gonna make other people in your email list, for example, be okay, you know what, I'm also worried about this. So maybe if someone is a prospect and hasn't bought from you yet, maybe they could be oh yeah, I mean, I'm really also worried about my son and my granddaughter and how much they use their phones, so maybe I'm gonna buy this. Okay, and again, I'm talking about radiation protection products, guys, but hopefully you can understand that you can use this no matter what your business is. Okay, as long as you collect some type of data from your customers and clients, then you can use this. All right, now let's go ahead and move on to the last example. And what I did here is, in case you have certain sales calls with people, and this is gonna be more about high ticket stuff. Okay, maybe you probably are not gonna have sales calls where you close people on the call, but this is another way for you to actually clone your best customers and clients. So here's so here what I did is for a different client in the high ticket space, especially in the business opportunity space, what I did is I went through 4 sales call transcripts with people who actually bought their product. And what I did again is I had AI here. Actually, I gave it like a very good prompt, and I had it like to try to extract like up to 4 key patterns that those key patterns like they talk about like the desired outcomes people have, their objections, some things that they've tried in the past, and a little bit like what are like their emotional states and whatever like triggers, so that might like make them like buy from us. And I had it like analyze the scripts, and yeah, I mean, as you can see here, it did a pretty good job. And as here, I also did it with O3 Mini. I did it here with like a Claude, and this is again something that I really recommend to everyone. Like, don't get really hang out on like just one LLM. Like, try and use as many as possible, because this will give you like a lot of ideas. So many times I essentially am doing just copy and pasting the same exact prompt and the same exact questions like in multiple like windows. Okay, so I'm gonna do this like on Poe, where I'll use like a Claude and O3 Mini. I might use like a Gemini. I might go like search something on Perplexity, and I think right now it has like 4 different options for research where they're researching something, and I'm gonna use all 4 of them because I want as much material, I want as much like a input that I can like then filter and pick like whatever is like best for me. So I did the same here too. And we can see that I got some pretty cool, for desired outcomes, it was like a financial independence, family security legacy, location freedom, okay? And here it gave me some pretty cool quotes. And then, you find out like about like what their objections were with this program. But remember, like those people like had those objections, but they actually bought. So one thing you can do is like if you're getting like objections, like in your advertising material or anything, what you can do is see how like maybe like a salesperson like handle this objection and use this in your written material. So you take something that they said on a call, and then you use it, you transcribe it, and then you use it in your written material too. Okay, nobody said that it's illegal to do this. You can also use this a lot. Then, moving forward, another thing that we looked at are like emotional triggers. So you can see here like a fear of missing out, desire for control, family pride, responsibility. And again, like it gives us like some really cool quotes that we can then use. How we can use those quotes again? Like again, guys, one of the simplest way you can do this. Like if you have an email list with people, you can send them like, hey, I recently hopped on a call with like a Bob, where he asked me this very cool question about our program. And I totally get where Bob is coming from, and here's what I told him. And then you actually like take like the transcript of the answer of the objection handling, and you do the same like in the email. Okay, or maybe you can do it on a Facebook post or on a YouTube script or on TikTok or whatever. Again, the idea is to ask, okay, how can I take like one piece of like a media, which is like a written media, okay, and use it like in other forms of media, whether that's like a video, maybe that's like something on a podcast, maybe that's something like your customer reps can answer if they get like a similar question. You can use this like all the time. And again, what's like very important here is that this is some things that really resonated with buyers. And for this specific client, again, I made sure to actually take like a transcript for big spenders. Okay, so there weren't like people who had paid, let's say, $100 with this my client. They had actually spent a thing like a multiple 4 figures. So they're like big spenders. Okay, and if we can actually like reverse engineer what made those big spenders like a click with us, yeah, we will be able to get more of them. So yeah, I think this is all I had to say today, guys. This is like my first video ever for this channel. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll be creating more videos like in the future like this. And yeah, till then, thanks, and I'll see you soon.